So today we're going to do the 2-on-1s when we're on offense and we're coming in the zone. I would say just that the first thing we want to do in a 2-on-1 is we want to start getting more shots from kind of this scoring area that in this kind of slot area here, we want to make sure we get as many shots as possible. So when we're on a 2-on-1, we've got them outnumbered and we should be able to get more pucks to that slot area either on a one-timer or get it to the open guy, and you'll see that we've got a lot of chances to pick up our shots, and right now we're getting a lot of them from we're getting a lot of times where the puck or a person ends up in these kind of no-go areas. That's kind of the overview. Is there's kind of three things zone-wise when you're looking overhead at this image. This is just sort of a rink. We have the two bowls here. That would be our 2-on-1 people, and then the gold would be the D and then the goalie. So let's just try to eliminate ever going down here. And then let's work on steering ourselves so that our group as a whole is starting to move into this area, right? So we've got to start thinking about how am I going to get the puck there? Well, I think the first thing we want to do is turn this zone into anything above the circles here is a great time to get a pass. So let's call this the passing zone. All right, because usually the D, you'll see, starts to move back. He'll start skating back when he sees it's a 2-on-1, and he'll try to give, he'll try to look like he's playing good D. So he'll start drifting back, and if he doesn't, say he starts guarding somebody, well then that's easy. Give it to the guy who's not guarded. If he starts sitting back, we can start to get him to have to make a decision if we pass it early. And the benefit of passing it early instead of passing it from down here is that one or two passes might get this guy out of position over here. If he starts chasing. The key is we would love to get like this guy in the center here and move him all the way in for a shot here. A lot of times we'll have this guy come down and he'll either have to pass or shoot from down here. And so we've got a lot of times where we're making their job easy for them, because you'll see that if our guy is here with the puck, well, either he has no shot because this goalie is going to be guarding the post, or he's got to pass it through. Let's try to work on, a lot of times if we're coming in from outside the dots, start to think about coming in. Same with this guy. If you're the puck carrier or not, start to think about coming in. Getting open and set. If you're the open guy, get open and ready. Make sure you give the guy a zone to pass to, a spot to pass to, as much as possible. And just so if we start looking at, if we do make the pass, making it early. So, make the pass up here, the first pass, if you're going to take a pass. So you'll see a couple examples and we'll go through. There's about 3 good examples on different scenarios and how we can turn them into better situations. A 2-on-1 happens so quick. You'll watch the first play and it's over in less than 5 seconds. They're all over in less than 5 seconds. So you kind of have to just make a quick read and make your decision. There's not a lot of time for thinking over option after option after option. If you're the puck carrier, first of all, you're the one making the decision. So if you have it in your head that you can make a quick glance at their D or your teammate and you can see that he's either open or not, you can eliminate a lot of options right away by seeing kind of what kind of 2-on-1 it is. Same goes for the pass. The guy with the pass, if he sees that he's got a defender playing him, well, maybe you start to take steps to kind of take the defender out of the play with you. Well, now he's gone. And then you give this guy more room to come in the center. So the whole thing is to try to work each other around to get more space. Some more chances from this zone right here, which is what we really want, is a lot of chances from here, because that's where the goals are, unless you're in the Bob zone, I guess we'll call this. And then if it's Bob from down there, go ahead and shoot it. So yeah, so we'll start looking at some examples, and then as we start to hopefully get better at this, we'll show some examples of why it worked and how to keep going forward. And so this one, we've got Eric Ferguson coming down the left wing. He's got it the 2-on-1 kind of setup. We've got a defender, and then we've got Kohan over here in the middle. Is the right wing. He's a right-handed shot, so he's on his good side, and Eric is coming in on his backhand. So let's watch it all the way through, and then we'll skip back and look at what we could have done. Okay. So right away, Eric enters the zone. He's on his backhand. He has nowhere really to go with it. He can keep going into the corner. He's going to be pushed by this guy who makes the decision early on to attack him. So on a 2-on-1, what does that do? Just like we talked about, that leaves Sean wide open with all of this space here, okay? Right away, you know, from Eric coming in on his backhand, there's not really much of a chance for him to get a scoring play out of it off his stick. But look at all this space here. All he's got to do is get it out before the defender gets right on top of him. And if he gets it into this, you know, this big square area, anywhere where Sean can take a step and skate into it, he's got an open look. That's kind of the decision he makes. But unfortunately, he throws it behind him. So let's, you'll see. So he's got the defender on him. And then look, he makes the play. The defender made a good play, I guess. I mean, he made Eric make his decision before. He was probably ready to. But Sean's also in really great position because he's already in the zone. He's wide open. His stick's ready for a pass. And this is just a quick, easy flip pass. But you'll see the pass. It goes in between the two guys. It's well behind Sean. So remember, you want to err on the side of throwing it too far forward, and we can go pick it up that way. Whereas if you throw it too far backward, we give their guys a lot of chance to start hustling the other way, and then the two forwards who are on the 2-on-1 have to book it back, and they may or may not want to do that. So all in all, this was the right decision. We just made a poor pass. But this is, you know, watching this and you see and you feel like you're in this situation where you've drawn the defenders to you and you've got the puck early in the zone, and you can't really make a move because you've got, you know, you've got the other guy kind of coming back and helping out. So you have nowhere to go. So you know, you can sense that this guy's open. And that's just taking a quick peek as you enter the zone, knowing you have a guy with you. And we can make a lot more chances like this happen if we just read that. So the key is Eric read it correctly. He felt the pressure. He threw it out. And then we just didn't make a good pass. But if we had, that would have been all for Sean to have a free look at the goalie with. We're going to watch this second one all the way through, and then we'll go back over it. So here we go. So we'll take it back here. So this was one of those situations where the defender, so we saw the first one, the defender went straight for the puck carrier. So this one, we've got Eric coming in on his forehand. Mike is coming in, and he's on his backhand the whole way down. But their defender is going to take Mike the whole way. So he's giving Eric this huge lane to take. Now remember, this is the zone you want to get into, right? Well, from these circles, right? So let's turn this into an X area again. Let's erase all this stuff. So let's make sure we're not skating into the X's, right? That's kind of a no-go zone. So we'll play it forward a little bit. So you'll see here, this is another time where we made a good read because Eric shot the puck, which was the right read here because he had no pass for Mike. Mike did the right thing by keep skating in and in and in. He drew that defender most of the way until Eric waited a little too long and made the decision easy for everybody on the other team. But by staying kind of in the slot area, he made that defender play the pass and gave Eric a lot of look at the goalie. So we'll play it forward a little bit more. See right here, Eric's got, 6 feet here. Remember, every foot or so you can move it closer to the slot. You change that angle, you give yourself a lot more of a chance to score. So you start heading out this way, you're reducing your angle. And obviously if you head towards the center. So by Mike being kind of a magnet to draw out this defender, right here is where Eric should know, okay, no pass. This is where I can shoot. So take maybe a stride in, get into here, like right in this area, and this should be where you load up, and this should be your tee box, okay? Well, see, this is where I think we start to overthink things a little too heavy on some of these easy plays. See, he comes in too low. He comes almost into that area that I drew out that you shouldn't shoot from. So by coming in here, he's basically, and he made a shot that there's nowhere to shoot in. So he's got no target. The goalie read it. He's squaring up. So if he shot a little earlier, the goalie wasn't fully squared up yet, and he's got more of an angle. But now he's reducing his angle. The other thing is if he does get a rebound, it's going to get to Mike. It's going to be a very sharp angle and very hard to corral. Whereas if he had shot it earlier and Mike takes an extra stride, this guy's turned around. He's got to turn all the way around. This defender has got to turn all the way around and still come out and find the puck before Mike can pick up any rebound sitting over here. So if we'd shot it from over here while Mike's still over here, that gives him a lot more time to pick up any rebound. We kind of hit the outside of the net here. So this is a good example. Again, we made the right read as far as shooting. We held onto this puck and shot it because there was no pass. A pass here would have been a turnover. Mike was well guarded. But Mike did a good job also because he read that also, and he pulls in the defender. And Eric's just got to shoot a little quicker. And that's not just Eric that does that. That's everybody. Starts skating in, and then they get kind of like frozen. And then they go, oh, crap, I panic, and we got to shoot. Okay. Same zone, same two players, same 2-on-1, same period. But this one, this is one where Mike is open for a pass. And this is the only one where we made the wrong decision on. And we'll see why here. So we'll play it all the way through. So we get into the zone. Mike's trailing about 6 or 7 feet behind. So right here, remember, there's this pass zone above the circles, even though that wasn't the greatest line. So right here, the defender's trying to decide who he's going to play. So Eric's coming in, but he's staying out wide. Maybe if he starts skating in a little, he'd draw the defender in. And then we'd have a similar scenario to that first 2-on-1 where if Eric can draw this defender to him, then look at all this area Mike's got open here. And if we can do that early, then all this is a little chip pass instead of, a through the legs or some sort of high difficulty pass. So we'll play it for another couple seconds. So right here, Mike's still in pretty good position to get, if he gets his other hand on the stick and opens up and gets it on his forehand, Eric can still get a pass off. And he's still got room for a shot, so he's slowing down, but this defender's starting to make his commitment. And now he's got his stick in Eric's lane, okay? So if Eric had gotten the pass over a split second earlier, there's no stick in the lane anymore. And look, now Mike is ready and open for a pass. And this, let's look at what from that stick blade, he's got here to here to here to shoot from. What does Eric have to look at? He's got that and maybe a little spot there and maybe up here. So we're talking about a huge difference in square footage you can shoot at, or whatever the term is. And then once again, we skated ourselves into the no man's land. See, at this point, if you find yourself skating into no man's land and you've kind of hung your open man out there, at this point, they're so committed here that if you can take a stride or two and come around, you might have this whole back door open, or you might be able to come around and do that. But remember, the more you dangle with it or skate with it or slow down, you give all these guys more time to come back. That's the last example. So we didn't score on any of these. I'm hoping we do the next couple of times we get something. Maybe if we start to think about making our decision earlier and try to get more shots from this slot area, as we pointed out. Mike was wide open for one. Sean was wide open for one. Eric had a chance to get in the middle for one. So it's just thinking about funneling your way in. And we really want to start getting in the habit of, on a 2-on-1, they only have one defender, so they can only play so much of the ice. So we can shrink the ice surface down to the scoring areas. We don't have to worry about the corners or the boards or anything because this guy's got a lot of area to cover already. So all it is getting them to commit. They start leaning, they take one step one way, then whatever way he goes, go the other way, whether that's passing to the guy he left open or taking the puck because he guarded the other guy. So I think watching this frame by frame helps a lot because I think you'll be able to see kind of these plays happen so quick, but you're going to see now. But if we start getting into this kind of habit of, you know, getting ourselves into scoring areas, I mean, from where Mike is, even if the goalie gets squared up by the time he gets that puck, Mike can score that shot 30% of the time. And, you know, whereas Eric, that shot's probably less than 5%. So let's just work on that, and we'll try to see how over the next few games if we start to see any improvement on our execution there.